How are you guys? There you go. But first of all, I want to welcome you and I want to thank you very much for coming and joining us here at the Ecosystem stage. My name is Ivan Hernandez. I'm originally from Mexico. I have a very funny accent, I know. I hope that everything is clear and that you're going to be able to understand everything I say. If you don't understand, well, you can blame it on the accent. I'm very happy to be here. This is my second time in Lebanon. I was a speaker here 2 years ago at the first edition of BDL Accelerate. And I am amazed of how much the event has grown, and I'm very happy to be here with you today. I'm going to be your host today, so you're going to see me a lot. Sorry. But I hope that you're going to have a good time and you're going to have enjoying a joyful event with us today. Of course, I would like to remind you that there are other stages going on. We have the money stage on the other side of the venue. Right in the middle, that huge thing is the innovation stage. And I kindly recommend you to check around all the different speakers that we have during the next 2 days, 2-3 days, because it's going to be fantastic. Okay? All right. So right before we start, I want to give you a little introduction. I'm going to give you a little presentation connected with the elements, with the topic of risk taken. Things not working. There you are. The safest thing you can do is to take risks. The riskiest thing you can do is to play it safe. This is a statement that I love from Seth Godin because it clearly realized what's the reality of the world today. We live in a world in which the ability to take risks is going to have a huge impact on your career and on your ability to grow your business. Because think about it, you are where you are not because of luck. You are where you are because you took risks others were not willing to take. And just to make sure, when I'm talking about risk, I'm not talking about doing something stupid or something that could be harmful. I'm talking about the ability to explore, the ability to try new things and to experiment. Because this is what is going to have the biggest impact in growing your business. Now, something interesting is that life's best lessons come from very unusual places. And actually, throughout the years, I found really, really interesting lessons in the circus. Think about it. When you go to the circus and you see performers, acrobats, artists, like flying trapeze artists, performing incredible tricks that require a lot of control, a lot of precision, a lot of being able to take risk. This is, how you are able to really accomplish amazing things. And if you think about it, this is similar in the world of business. In business, you need to be able to step off from that comfortable platform where you're standing, take a leap, jump, do everything you can in order to be able to accomplish your objective. In the world of circus, the objective is to catch the trick. So basically, this is what we're talking about when we're doing about building your business and about accomplishing great objectives. How cool is that? I love the flying trapeze. Now, let's see, I'm very close here. The world of circus has a lot of very, very interesting lessons when we're talking about entrepreneurship, when we're talking about career development, when we're talking about business development. I just realized that probably it's not a good idea that I'm showing you these pictures, because for the rest of my presentation, you're not going to see me as the speaker, but you're going to see me as the guy wearing white tights, because actually that guy over there is me. Yeah, that's what I used to do many years in the past. So, especially for you today, I'm wearing my white tights. Just kidding. No. Yeah, you gotta love the white tights. The wonder years. Anyway, why am I talking about this? I'm here because I wanted to share with you 7 very interesting lessons, some 7 very important lessons that I learned from my years back when I used to be a flying trapeze artist. And these 7 lessons, if you're wondering why 7, well, first of all, 7 is an easy number to remember, but also because when you put them all together, they form the word trapeze. You see what I did there? And what I would like to do is to go about each of them individually. The first one is timing. Earlier today, we heard Tony Fadell say something that I totally agree. Timing is everything. Timing is everything in the flying trapeze. If you take off from the platform a second too late or a second too early, you're going to miss the trick. And if you think about it, in the world of business, it's exactly the same. If you have the situation that you have a great idea, but the timing is not right, chances are that you're going to fail. So to have an idea of what we're talking about when it's about timing, I wanted to share you some findings done by Bill Gross. Bill Gross is a very successful venture capitalist who earlier this year gave a presentation at TED. And back then, what he wanted to find out, he wanted to figure out what are the key factors for success for startups. And what he did is he realized after all the work that he accomplished that there are 5 essential elements that lead to success. Number 1 is ideas, team, business model, funding, and timing. Now, what he wanted to find out is which ones are more important. What is the level of importance of these 5 factors? And what he did is he looked at 200 companies. He looked at 100 companies that were very successful, but also he looked at 100 companies that were a failure. And what he did is he measured each of these parameters to figure out which one was the most important in the role of each of these successes and failures. And what happened is after crunching all the numbers, he found out that the number 1 factor in success across more than 200 companies is timing. Because think about it, you may have a great idea and the technology is not there. So if the technology is not there, the technology is not ready, chances are that you're going to have a hard time and chances are that you're going to fail. Or you might have the situation that you have a great idea, the technology is there, everything is there, but the consumers, the customers are not ready to have this type of services or products. So very, very important is you need to understand if the timing of your idea is the right timing to do what you want to do. Therefore, you need to be able to answer the question, why now? Why now it's a good time for you to launch this business? Why now, if I'm an investor, I need to sit down with you and listen to your idea? Why now is the right time to talk to you? Which means is you need to be able to show that you understand that all the factors going around your business, the social factors, the economic factors, the technological factors, point you in the right direction, which means that this is the right timing for you to do to start your business. So that's the first thing. You need to be able to answer the question, why now? The second point is resilience. Something very interesting when you are doing activities like the flying trapeze is that you start and you have everything is going great. You learn one trick and you catch it and you learn another trick and you catch it and you go on and on and on and on. Life is good, everything is cool, and you're having a great time. Until the moment that you start trying a trick that is too hard and you start failing. And this is the moment when you can get discouraged. This is the moment when you can start, being disappointed that you are not progressing as fast as you can. I see exactly the same with businesses. I talk with a lot of entrepreneurs that when they start, the startup, the honeymoon stage, when everybody's excited and everybody's working hard and it's fun and it's great and it's awesome, and then you fail and everything sucks and everything is horrible, right? So what I wanted to tell you is you need to develop this ability to be resilient, because you need to understand that you will fail. And it's okay, because failure is part of the game. Don't be upset when you fail. Sometimes your failure is going to be epic. It's going too fast. But you need to understand that failure is not an option but a reality. And you need to understand also that success in business lies at the delicate balance between refusing to accept failure but also embracing it when it happens. So what you need to develop is you need to develop this attitude connected with failure. You need to have the attitude that when things are going bad, there is going to be something good that's going to come from it. So let's say you make a presentation, you go to, you enter a startup competition, you try, you give your presentation, and you lose. Good. Let's figure out what went wrong. Let's figure out what are the things that we need to apply. Let's figure out where we can change to make things better. Or you go to have a meeting with a client and you think that everything is going great and the client doesn't buy. Good. Let's try to figure out what we can change to make things better. So this is the attitude that you need to have. So if you fail, don't get all bummed out. Don't get all frustrated. You need to get up, you need to do stuff, reload, and go on the attack. Which leads me to my next point, which is being aggressive. Aggressiveness is crucial on the flying trapeze. When I'm starting on the platform ready to take off, I am 100% committed to do the trick. You cannot be ready to take off kind of wondering if it's a good idea or trying to define, maybe yes, I don't know, I don't really want to be here. No, because if you are like that, you're going to get hurt. And it's exactly the same in the world of business. You need to be 100% committed. Aggressive should be your default mode. Now, just to make sure that everybody we're on the same channel, when we're talking about aggressiveness, I'm not talking about being, physically aggressive or creating conflict or pushing. This is not what I'm talking about. I'm having a blast with this thing. This is not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is aggression is the will to win. Aggression is the unstoppable fighting spirit, the drive to use everything you have, every strategy, every tactic so you can succeed. That's what aggressive is. And this is what you really need to understand. If you want to be successful, you need to be aggressive. And aggressive should be your default mode. So when you see an opportunity, don't be upset, don't be passive, don't wait. You need to be aggressively and decisively go for it. You need to make things happen. You need to keep moving forward. I really like this quote by Christopher Stubbs. He says that you don't get what you want. You don't get what you think you deserve, but you get what you are committed to. So when you're thinking about launching your products, you need to be really, really ready to put 100%. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Which leads me to my next point, practice. Practice is very, very important in the world of circus. I can tell you that when I started being a trapeze artist, I didn't start it as a small child, going to gymnastics and doing, different things. I started in my late 20s. And the reason why I managed to become a successful trapeze artist was because every single day, 6-7 days a week, I was up training and practicing. And I was on the trampoline and on the trapeze, training. Because at the end of the day, deliberate practice is what makes the difference. The key to expert performance is deliberate practice, even more than natural talent. So if you are in the situation that you want to do something and you do not have a specific set of skills or talent, or you don't know how to do some things, you need to realize that it's all about hard work and it's all about just practicing, deliberate practice in order to be able to accomplish it. And this is applicable to everything. This is not just circus, this is everything. Whether you want to learn to play the guitar or whether you want to launch a successful business. Time and time again, I see a lot of business people just winging it, right? You create a big presentation, important presentation, you go to a client, and basically you do it 2 hours before the presentation and you try to see if it's gonna work. And of course, surprise, it doesn't work, you don't get the client, and then you're all upset and disappointed and mad. Instead of that, what you should do is practice. Practice your presentation, practice what happens if they ask different questions, what happens if things go wrong, what happens if the stupid thing doesn't work. Practice. This is what is going to make the difference. So, the next step is execution. I want to show you a picture of a very, this is a picture of a very spectacular trick. This is called the passing leap. The passing leap, as you can see, is very complex because it has not one flyer, but 2 flyers performing at the same time. One is on the top and one is on the bottom. Now I see your faces, you're like, huh? Just to give you an idea of how it works, first the lady takes off from the platform and the catcher arrives and grabs her by the legs. she lets go, they swing together, and at exactly the same time, the bar goes back to the platform, second flyer gets on top, and when they approach the middle, that's what happens. One goes under, one goes over, and it's a really cool trick, the passing it. This is a trick that every single trapeze artist dreams about someday performing. And I can tell you that this is a really cool memory for me because this is actually exactly the first time I caught this trick. And the reason we accomplished this trick was not because we sit down and we thought about it, or we planned about it, or we talked between us and we did research about it. The reason why we caught this trick is because we actually, every day, we work on it. And this is exactly the same mentality that you need to do if you want to build your business. Time and time again, I see a lot of entrepreneurs planning, researching, talking about their disruptive, brilliant idea, which at the end of the day, 5-6 months later, you meet them again and they're still at the same place. So you need to understand that it's not about ideas, it's about making ideas happen. It's about really, really identifying what is the 1, 2, 3 ideas that you need to focus on, and then put everything in it so you can really, really build it. Get your hands dirty and get the idea going on. Now, talking about ideas, there is a problem very often that we have the tendency to have many ideas, right? And then we start doing 3, 4, 5, 6 things at once. And then we are not very effective. So what you need to understand, you need to prioritize and execute. Identify the one idea that you want to really focus on, and then go for it. Which leads me to my next point, which is zero in. In other words, focus. I can tell you that when I am on the trapeze, when I was on the trapeze, all my focus, 100% of my attention was on my fellow flyer. I was not thinking about what is it that I'm going to do tomorrow. I was not thinking about the music. I was not thinking about the lights. I was not thinking about when I'm going to have a breakfast. I was thinking 100% focus on my flyer. Because if for 1 second I didn't pay attention to him, he could really get hurt, and badly. So what I really wanted to show you is it's really important when you're talking about your business, you need to really focus on putting all your attention in one thing. Unfortunately, we live in an age in which multitasking is kind of sexy and cool, right? How many of you consider yourself multitaskers? All of you. And the funny thing is, we say it with pride, right? Like, yeah, I'm a multitasker. And the reality is that if you're a multitasker, you're actually, you're using your energy in too many things at once, and instead of accomplishing one thing really, really well done, you are doing a little bit of everything. And unfortunately, I see time and time again this illusion that juggling many projects at once is the way to do things. Well, I have news for you. Juggling is an illusion. Because when you're juggling, it looks like you're doing too many things and everything is going on and everything is hectic, but in reality, you are doing only one thing. And actually, let me show you. When you're juggling, it looks like I'm doing many things at once, right? Everything is going, everything is flowing. Project 1, project 2, one company, the second one, calling these people, checking Facebook. Okay, that isn't supposed to happen. It looks like I'm doing many things at once, but in reality, all what I'm doing is I'm doing one thing. I'm throwing the ball and I'm catching it. That's it. I throw and I catch. I throw and I catch. Of course, I do it a little bit faster. And that's the illusion. So I am not doing many things at once. I am not trying to deal with a lot of hectic situations. I'm focusing on doing one thing, just doing it faster. So don't be too hooked on being a multitasker. Instead of it, focus on doing one thing and putting all your effort to doing that well. Which leads me to my last point, which is experience. Experience. How many of you have been to a great circus show? Most of you. What's the difference between a fantastic circus show and a show that is like, it's okay? How many of you have seen, for example, Cirque du Soleil? It's fantastic, right? The amazing thing about shows like Cirque du Soleil is that there is a flow. Everything that happens for a reason. Everything has been planned. Every single part of the performance, it's been rehearsed and it's been practiced, and everything is happening with flow. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's not a bunch of tricks put together, but it's actually a performance. In business, this is something that you really need to do as well. And to give you an example of that, I wanted to share the story of a company called Virgin America. This is a very successful airline in the United States that has one of the highest levels of customer satisfaction. Now, the reason why they are so successful is not because they have an app, which they do, and it's very nice and it's very user-friendly, and you can do a lot of things with the app, but that's not the reason why they are very successful. They are not successful because they have really cool cabins. I mean, look at that. That looks like from Star Trek. But that's not why they are successful. The reason why they are extremely successful is because they really understand their customers. They did their homework and they identify the entire journey from the moment that the passenger is planning its trip, it's arriving to the airport, going through security, getting to board, once it's on the plane, the moment that they land, and what happens afterwards. And a very interesting that they did is they really focus on understanding where are the places, where are the touch points during the journey in which there is a potential for either a negative or a positive emotion. And what they did is once they identify where there's this potential situation that could bring up some negative emotions, they try to proactively come up with ideas to figure out how to solve the problem in advance. So for example, let's say you're going through security. Long lines, you're stressed out, you're rushing to your plane, there's a long line, it's boring. What do? Well, basically what they did is they come up with different ideas. For example, they will have the captain and the crew there to greet you, or they will have a special area for the children so they could play, or they could give you an iPad and you could play with something. So they start to figure out ways for you to make the experience better. So this is something that you really need to understand. You need to understand what's really important to your customers, what keeps your customers frustrated, what are their aspirations, and how can you be more useful. If you're able to understand and to answer these 4 questions and try to figure out at which point of the journey you can make the experience of your customers better, this is going to have a huge impact on your business. So there you have it. Timing, resilience, aggressive, practice, execution, zero in or focus, and experience. Now the question is, this is the moment that you need to make your choice. Today, tomorrow, and on the 3rd day, during the next 3 days, you're going to have the opportunity to see amazing speakers. There are thought leaders and business leaders from all over the world coming here, and they're going to share with you amazing pieces of information, amazing knowledge, amazing insights. And you're going to be able to know how to do a lot of things. The question is, are you going to do something with it? Because time and time again, I go to many conferences all over the world, and I see people coming to the event, watching the presentation, being very inspired, loving it, awesome, great, and 2 days later they go back to the office and nothing happens. So I want to invite you that really do make the effort to go to watch as many speakers as you can, and take that step, take that risk of actually doing something. If you learn something interesting, try to implement it right away when you go back to work on Monday. Because the reality is that opportunities don't happen. You need to create them. And I hope that these 7 lessons that I have given you will give you the opportunity and the ideas on how you can start implementing all the knowledge that you're going to get here during the next 2 days. And before I go, I wanted just to share with you that one of the things in the world of circus, when we go to the next town or to the next place where we're going to be performing, we don't say, well, good luck or all the best or see you later. The way we talk between each other is we say, fly high. Fly high is the ultimate wish that you can give to somebody, to a fellow trapeze flyer. Because if you're flying high, it means that you're on the right track, and it means that you're going to be able to accomplish your goals. So today, I want to thank you very much for being here. I want to thank you very much for joining us at this fantastic event. And I want to wish you all to fly high and to have a great day today. Thank you very much. And now, we're going to go to the